Can you
masturbating.
hear it?
I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I'm sorry I
Hmm?
had to drop that
Yeah.
bomb on you. That if you want to increase your
Oh, that's
testosterone levels, it has to do with not masturbating. So, there is a study that shows that after 1 week of abstinence from masturbation, serum testosterone levels increased by 146%. And that was on the seventh day. Now, in this small study, what it showed is that if you can stay away from masturbation, that testosterone levels rise after that seventh day. And so this study showed that within the first 7 days, there was not a significant increase, but there was a drastic spike after the seventh day. In another study, we know that when men abstained from masturbation for 3 weeks, testosterone levels continued to climb.
Mm.
So, when we talk about leaving pornography behind, which we know from the science damages your brain, it knocks out the frontal lobe in terms of functioning, which makes it so that you can't focus, that your memory is baffled, right? Makes it so that social anxiety increases, that judgment is impaired, that impulse control is impaired. We also know that the reward center in your brain is being fried out. It's being fried and making you need heightened levels of arousal, sending you back into the screen for more intense pornography that gives you that arousal. And it forces people into genres they never thought that they would venture into. And the reason is tolerance has been built in your brain that you need those higher levels of intensity because the reward center in your midbrain is not working properly. That
so yeah, that was the video I was gonna bring up.
Mm. Okay.
So she is actually a doctor. This is Dr. Trish Lay. She's this is her subject. She the porn brain rewire. She has a whole channel about this.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. She has a
how
whole
to heal your brain from
she
porn.
has
I'm
she
Dr.
has a whole she has a whole channel about this.
That's
Um,
crazy because it hadn't been a big thing for me. You know, porn isn't a big
yeah.
thing in my life, and we didn't grow up on it like that. So I'm not one of those guys that's always going to it.
Hmm.
But I do hear guys that are always on X videos. They tell me about it, and they always on that thing, man.
Especially with the porn with the other
Pornhub, another
sites.
one. Yeah.
It's definitely becoming more readily available. Not only that, I think the behavior and the acceptance of it has become more accepted. Like, oh, that's just men being men.
Mm.
And even women now you have women saying, "Hey, I play with my little thing every once in a while."
Yeah, it's more common than normal. Even the people that try to say that it's a religious thing while they don't do it, the people in that religion are still members of that porn community too. They checking it out and
Yeah,
they are doing some masturbation. So it is a society thing, but it just shouldn't be so controlling of your life.
yeah.
Right?
And that's the thing about it. Like I said, any habit that you form, I like the way that she talked about having 3 weeks. Like after 3 weeks, because after 21 days, you should be able to break a habit too. So after 3 weeks of not masturbating, you should be able to break that cycle and that habit too. But like I said, even God, this I keep going back to the first the video I'm talking about. Even he said that he had the addiction for a period of time, and when he was younger, and then he stopped when he met his wife, and then it crept back up later on in life.
Mm,
After bills, after two kids, after jobs, and just boredom.
right.
So
Yeah.
these are things that, like I said, you got to be mindful of what you're taking in, because sometimes it may seem just a visual thing, but they could be making you physically act differently.
Right.
These little lights and stuff, like sight is literally just reflect a reaction off lights, just off of whether it's electronic or whatever, like the way that you see an apple and you can smell it. The same thing with sex.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So shout out to Playboy. He says, Born in Danish. When I was younger, I would watch it a lot, and I would affect my performance with women in real life. Too many options, and the women you have may not have the option you want that day.
Mm,
Yes, yes,
right, man.
yes.
And
Next.
that's a commendable that you can admit that you have that addiction, and you can, because what the only way you can do something about it is to admit that it exists in your life.
Yeah.
A lot of people are delirious, or that they don't even know that what they're going through. They'll never admit it. I don't have a problem, and they on it. It's only 24 hours in a day. You spend a few hours of that on porn. What are you not doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I think also we have to understand with we talk about porn addiction, but like I said, I want to get into also sex addiction because, like I said, a lot of brothers they spend too much time trying to get ass. They're consumed with it. It cons- they're texting all day. They're wasting so much time trying to figure out what they're doing every single week, and then next thing you know, you don't realize you're wasting time not getting the bag.
Yeah, what's the state of your life in if you're spending so much time doing that? You got to understand, like, you spend it, time is something that's going to always keep moving. And if you're investing a lot of time in something that's a problem, you missing out on something in your life. When you're so focused on that, there's so much going around you don't even see.
Mm-hmm.
You're missing out on opportunities. Your
Yeah,
life is stagnant. You're not growing.
and especially brothers that like, hey man, let's build. That's how this meeting. Let's clean up a school or let's do something else. And you like, hey man, Friday night, I got this little yellow bone going on. And it's just like, bro, you staying up late. Like sometimes it does. I remember. Let me tell you a story of my friend. Right. I remember he got into it. He got into a bad situation with his girl. A whole bunch of stuff went down. He leaves that situation. Next thing you know, he's in another full relationship.
Mm,
I'm telling him like, bro, why don't you chill out for like 6 months? I told him I was like, bro, chill out for 6 months. Stop trying to jump from relationship to relationship with these females. Stop trying to, I get it. You want some in the house thing, but like you see what that ended up getting you.
right.
You seen what ended up happening with that situation. It's like, bro, we're older now. Ain't nobody counting your body count. Ain't nobody worried about that. You just really just doing it just because you don't have nothing else better to do.
It can ruin your life, man.
And I told him, I was like, bro, you can just focus on yourself, focus on getting your stuff together. He had a nice apartment and everything, and I was like, bro, you let all that
Whole
get to
thing.
you, and a woman just knocked it out in one day on some fugazi ass stuff, and then you go back into another situation just like that. And I'm like, bro, what? Leave these hoes alone, Jesse.
Yeah, you caught up. Man,
Yeah.
it's gonna suck you dry, man.
Like, so do you know brothers like that? Like, do you know brothers who just really can't stop with the females?
Yeah, I see them all
I
the
mean,
time
not
in these
healthily, healthily.
clubs. These clubs that I'm in, these relationships I have with a lot of the clubs in the city. You see guys frequent these clubs for this reason, and it's
Mm.
sad, but they got a problem. I think it's no different than a guy who got addicted to gambling, guys who are addicted to drugs. It's a drug. It's a dopamine spike. It is.
It is.